Hello everyone, this is Tyler here. I'm in Estonia here in the forest. It's a beautiful day, it's sunny, birds are out, very nice day. I want to get into it, and this is why I left Chile and my experiences that led me to this decision. Going back to 2013, 14, I lived in South America for 2 years. I studied and worked down there. It was a very cool experience. I got there when I was 20, I left when I was 22. I originally came with the idea that I was going to be there longer. I actually thought I would stay down there permanently before going there. And this is a critical lesson I would especially give to young people is don't think that something may be permanent, especially at this age. I was even younger, I'm 27 now. I looked into South America and Chile was kind of the country that seemed the best fit for me. In retrospect, I think it was. The aspects of the country that I really appreciated and liked, they offered. And Chile was really big on the radar at this point. It had a very good economic situation. They were really emerging. This was around 2011-12. I was looking at the country. They had got a lot of positive publicity at this time. And it definitely attracted me, this country. There was something about it that really appealed to me. I love the outdoors. They had a great mountains, oceans. They had a lot of seafood, and the people seemed pretty pleasant. And the university I was studying at was phenomenal down there. And so these were all positive things. And of course, the language. I fortunately had everything in place, my documents and I met all the requirements to go down there as a student, and I did. And it was very interesting, unique experience. First time someone's lived abroad, and there was a lot of interesting things I learned. There was ups and downs. It was so different going to the southern hemisphere, living in South America, somewhere I'd never been before even, and just experiencing a different life. I lived with a host family, great people, and it was so different when I first got there. It was just, it's so hard to explain. If you've never lived abroad, first time, and especially in that kind of culture and country, it was so unique. This was also before I didn't really use social media much. I wasn't really online with a lot of these platforms. So for me, I was very much living in the present moment, and I experienced everything firsthand. And I got there, and it was very solid. I fortunately met some good people shortly after arrival, and those people were very dependable, good people that I still talk to today. When I got into my second year down there, I was looking for a situation to help me with residency because this was a big obstacle. After my first year, I didn't have my student visa anymore, and I had to get some kind of work visa and start working. And what my intention that second year was to continue learning the Spanish language, grow the ways I needed to, and potentially figure out how to segue into a career. Now, I was close to finishing university also, and at this point I was finishing my courses online through my university in Minnesota. This was a great way of doing my courses. It was very flexible. As time went on, I started applying for jobs, and I wasn't even getting responses for interviews, and I started seeing problems here in Chile that would affect me to live there longer term. So viably, I only had one good option, and that was to maybe get married, but I didn't even have a girlfriend at that time, so that was out of the question. At this point, I didn't have a lot of options, and my money supply was getting low. I was living on kind of like a monthly stipend from my parents still because I was still in university. I didn't have a lot. I hardly had any in savings, so I didn't have a lot of ways to sustain myself. I was living in a foreign country. Other things too, I started realizing I wasn't drinking as much. I wasn't partying. I didn't like it as much as what I thought, and I was looking at I was early 20s, and I really was like, I think I can apply myself in the US and make it somewhere. And I was just getting more excited, honestly, to return back to the States. I thought it was just a better place to be early into my career. I also spoke to friends in Chile who told me you could get better quality experience in the US, in the workplace, and probably have better opportunities. And these people were spot on what they told me. There were other situations I went through, and these were all indicators it was time to return. I remember one last conversation I had on Skype. It was a changing moment when my parents had basically informed me they would not be funding me after the second year. And at that point, I knew I had no other options unless I could swing some kind of job. But I just felt it was like, this is an indicator I should leave. And that was about 4 months before I ended up leaving. I came back right before New Year's Eve of 2014. When I left, I had a great last week or two. That was summertime in South America. I knew when I hit the soil, Chicago, I had made the right decision immediately. I just could feel it. There was a lot that experience kind of taught me. It's good to stick with your gut instinct, especially when something doesn't seem right. And I was just sensing it wasn't right with me living longer in South America. My finances, that was another thing, and just opportunity cost. I could have living elsewhere. I also saw that the language skills weren't as important as what I thought. Knowing Spanish didn't offer as much value as I thought it would, and that was maybe one of the most important factors. I ended up coming back. I obviously lived in the US for a few years and then ended up moving again, and actually to Eastern Europe, completely different part of the globe, and it's been quite a different experience here. Yeah, give me your feedback. Thanks.